Welcome back to the Old Charles. Today we are diving deep into the story and value of the United Kingdom 2 shilling coin from 1966. This coin is a favorite among new collectors because it is easy to recognize, simple to understand, and full of interesting history. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we explore everything from design to condition to how much this coin is worth in today's market. Let us begin with the background of the 2 shilling coin, also known as the florin. This denomination has a long history in British coinage. It was first introduced in the 1940s. Decimal coinage was still years away at the time, and the 2 shilling piece was a convenient and widely circulated coin. By the year 1966, the United Kingdom was already preparing for the transition to decimal currency, which finally arrived in 1971, but the 2 shilling coin of 1966 remained part of the last generation of pre-decimal money that people used every day, and that makes it a small piece of living history. The obverse side of the coin features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This portrait shows her wearing a laurel wreath, symbolizing peace, honor, and dignity. The simple and elegant design is beloved among collectors because it reflects the early years of her long reign. The reverse side of the coin features a beautiful shield design representing the nations of the United Kingdom, clearly divided to show England, Scotland, and Ireland, surrounded by the words fid def and the denomination. This design is powerful, symmetrical, and timeless, giving the coin a classic British look. Now, let us talk about the composition of the 1966 2 shilling coin. Unlike older shillings that contained silver, the coins of this period were minted in cupronickel, which contains no silver. This means that most of their value today comes from age, collectibility, and condition rather than metal content, because millions were minted and used in everyday transactions. These coins are common in circulated condition, but finding one in high grade is becoming more difficult as time passes. When it comes to value, condition is everything. A heavily worn 2 shilling coin from 1966 that has scratches, dull surfaces, and signs of daily use will usually hold only a small collectible premium, but collectors still enjoy them for history and design. An average circulated example generally holds low value, while a very fine coin with sharp details, smooth fields, and minimal wear can bring a bit more attention from hobbyists. Then there are extra fine and almost uncirculated coins in these grades. The portrait and shield remain crisp, the lettering is bold, and the original shine may still be visible. Such pieces attract stronger interest because they show how the coin looked when it first left the mint. Finally, we have uncirculated and brilliant uncirculated coins. These are the best of the best, with untouched surfaces, full mint luster, and no signs of handling. Collectors are always searching for top-grade shillings, especially from pre-decimal years, and these can sell for noticeably higher prices depending on demand. Another interesting part of the hobby is finding coins with unique strike qualities. Some coins may look sharper or more detailed because of fresh dies or careful minting, although most 1966 2 shillings are standard examples. Small striking differences can make a coin stand out to specialists and add a little extra interest. If you are wondering whether your coin might be valuable, the first thing to check is the condition. Study the portrait of the Queen and look at the tiny details in her hair. Observe the shield on the back and notice if the lines are still sharp and defined. Check the fields for scratches, dents, or discoloration, and hold the coin under a bright light to see if any of the original shine is present. If your coin looks strong in all these areas, then it may fall into a higher grade. Also, enjoy coins with good eye appeal. Even if a coin has minor wear, it may still look attractive because of smooth surfaces, balanced toning, and a well-centered strike. Coins that look clean and visually pleasing often perform better in the market than coins with damage or dark stains, even if the grading level is similar. As for the current value, the 2 shilling coin of 1966 begins at a modest range for circulated examples, but can rise for coins in very fine, extra fine, and uncirculated condition. Top quality pieces always draw attention, especially from collectors who appreciate pre-decimal British currency. Although it is not a rare coin, its historical charm gives it a steady place in the hobby, and it remains one of the most recognizable British coins of the 20th century. The history of the United Kingdom 2 shilling coin is a journey that stretches across more than a century, and the 1966 issue sits near the end of that long timeline. The story of this coin begins in the mid-1800s when Britain was searching for a way to simplify its complex monetary system. Before decimal currency, people used a mix of farthings, pennies, shillings, and pounds. and it could be confusing for those not used to it. To help with this, the British government introduced the florin, which was the first 2-shilling coin. The idea was to create a coin that represented 1/10 of a pound as an early step toward possible decimalization, even though the full switch would not happen for many decades. The first florins in the 1840s and 50s were made of silver, and each new design reflected the artistic style of the era. Early versions had a reputation for beautiful artwork and royal symbolism, and over time the coin became a familiar part of daily British life. Shoppers, workers, and children handled these coins every day, and they became a stable piece of the British economy. As years passed, different monarchs were featured on the obverse side, each new portrait marking the beginning of a new reign, and each design change acting almost like a historical bookmark. By the time Queen Elizabeth II came to the throne in 1952, the 2-shilling coin was already an old tradition, but the post-war world was changing fast. Britain was modernizing, society was shifting, and people were discussing the idea of decimal currency more seriously than ever. During these years, the florin became minted in cupronickel instead of silver, reflecting a practical and economic decision. Many countries were removing silver from their coins, and the United Kingdom followed the same path. The 1966 2-shilling coin belongs to the final chapter of this long history. It was minted only a few years before decimalization, which officially arrived in 1971 when the pound was reorganized into 100 new pence. After that year, the old shillings were no longer made, but interestingly, the 2-shilling coin did not disappear immediately. Instead, it continued to circulate as a 10 new pence coin for many years because its size matched the new currency. This clever decision helped the transition feel smoother for the public and allowed people to keep using familiar coins while adjusting to the new system. Today, when collectors look at a 2-shilling coin from 1966, they see more than a simple piece of metal. They see the last strong echoes of Britain's pre-decimal past, a time when coins carried the memory of earlier reigns, wartime struggles, and decades of everyday use. The coin tells the story of a nation preparing to modernize while still holding on to traditions that had lasted for generations. For anyone who loves history, the 1966 2-shilling coin is a small yet powerful reminder of how money evolves, how societies change, and how even ordinary coins can become silent witnesses to major moments in time. When we talk about the value of the United Kingdom 2-shilling coin from 1966, the most important factor is the condition. This single detail can turn an ordinary common coin into a desirable collectible, because condition tells the entire life story of the coin. Every scratch, every mark, every shine, and every worn line shows how many hands it passed through and how it was treated over the years. Let us begin with the lowest grades, the well-worn circulated coins. These are the coins that spent decades in pockets, wallets, and tills. Their surfaces often appear dull, with faded details. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II may look soft and shallow, the hairlines no longer sharp. The shield on the reverse may show flat areas where constant friction has rubbed away the finer lines. Coins like these are still interesting because they remind us that they serve people in everyday life, but in the collector market, they generally bring the lowest value. Next, we move to coins that fall into the fine and very fine range. These coins still show clear design elements, but you will notice moderate where the high points of the Queen's portrait begin to smooth out, and the lettering around the edge loses some crispness, yet the major features remain easy to see. These coins look clean and balanced, and many collectors appreciate them because they show age while still having strong visual appeal. In this grade, the shield and decorative elements on the reverse are visible with some softness, but the coin still stands out nicely in a collection. Then we come to extra fine condition. Here the coin starts to look much more appealing. Only light where shows on the highest points, and the majority of the details remain sharp. The fields have fewer contact marks, and the portrait looks well defined with most of the original design still present. These coins give a sense of history without heavy wear, and they are highly preferred by